Welcome to St Neot webpage, and the first of, I hope, not too many cooking demonstrations, but certainly an opportunity for me to show off one of my Christmas presents. Today we're going to make pancakes and to look at that tradition, the tradition that's shared around the world these days for Shrove Tuesday. We celebrate throughout the year many traditions that have their basis in history and the stories behind that. And of course, they've been embellished over time. The word shrove is derived from the word shriven, which means absolved or cleansed. Traditionally, it's the day when we throw off the excesses of our lives in order to have a purposeful Lent, a time of reflecting upon oneself. In recent times, probably the last few hundred years, the tradition has been to give something up, to clear out one's cupboards, to clear out the excesses of one's lives. And hence we've given up smoking perhaps, or drinking, or chocolate, or some other luxury excess. These days perhaps we've concentrated a lot more upon doing more, about giving more of self-sacrifice. So Shrove Tuesday is the day when we prepare ourselves for a purposeful Lent, cleansing ourselves, as it were, to be able to move on, to move on to something new, something different, something fresh, something that's cleansed. Pancakes themselves, of course, link us slightly, and it's just a reminder, really, of the Feast of the Passover. Those who journeyed with Moses for an awfully long time throughout the desert and took with them no yeast, hence unleavened bread. And indeed, to this day, Jews on the eve of the Feast of the Passover will search high and low for any food with leaven in it, with yeast in it. They will cleanse their household of that, ready to celebrate and mark the Feast of the Passover. Sunday by Sunday, of course, we celebrate the Feast of the Passover in what's known as Holy Communion. And so Shrove Tuesday is about us, sort of symbolically, if you like, clearing out our household, clearing out our cupboards, clearing out our minds, clearing out our souls, so that as we come into Lent, we can approach it with sort of open arms, if you like, open and unencumbered with worries, with woes, and so on, with past excesses. Now, to the pancakes. Well, this particular mix comes highly recommended. It doesn't have my endorsement, nor I think the Naked Chef's. I won't turn around. The recipe is of 3 eggs, 2 tablespoons of olive oil or vegetable oil, 3/4 of a cup of flour, and 3/4 of a cup of milk. And obviously you need to whisk, and while you're doing that, get the pan nice and hot. My dad always used to say it needs to smoke before you put the mix in. I'm not sure I'll go to that extreme, otherwise it will set off the fire alarm. So pancakes made as a symbolic gesture of cleansing out our household, cleansing out our minds, our hearts, our souls. Now, my dad always said the pan has to be almost smoking. Well, almost smoking is good, isn't it? Because it means it hasn't caught fire, and neither has your fire alarm gone off. So here we go, pan hot enough, I think. Yep. not too much mixing, nothing worse than a stodgy pancake. And the tradition of pancake races, which would have been great, wouldn't it, to have had this year in the village? But hey, what we think of this year, we can hang on to till next year. And pancake races are said to have come from the story of a woman, I think in Buckinghamshire, where else, of course, where she was late for church and actually had been cooking just as I am now, and you will be in a minute. And she was late for church, so she picked up the pan and ran to church with the pancake still in the pan. And of course, as she went, bearing in mind it was probably a cast iron one, holding its heat, she ran tossing the pancake. I'm going to toss this one. I have yet to stick one to the ceiling, but I'm sure there's always a first time. And if this just fades to black, you know what's happened. So as you come to start Lent, I hope so that's just cooking off on that side of the pancake, and just prove that it wasn't a mere fluke. There we go, and it's not quite done to that side, so we'll do it again. Whoa! And hope, children, you've had a go at that, and it isn't on the ceiling, nor has the dog got it. So just add some sugar and some lemon, and prepare yourself to mark the next 40 days as we come up to Easter, the season of Lent. Thank you.